everybody. Happy Friday. This is how's that? Can you guys hear me now? If you guys, okay, so you should get some audio levels now. This thing doesn't work. So you guys probably picked me up from the audio on the yeah, this from the audio on the laptop. Geez, you know what? This I guess I'm having one of those kind of weeks. I'm having one of those weeks where a lot of things just don't work where they should work. You know, like I had an app that that some developers did, just like a simple thing. Like a client came to me and asked me for. So I hope you guys can hear me okay with this mic, but sounds like you have Xcode running. I know it's loud, isn't it? I gotta clean out this hard drive. Anyway, so yeah, earlier this week I ran. All I had to do was compile an app and release it to App Store. So I already have the latest version of Xcode on the App Store, which is Xcode 11.2, but no, they deprecated it after like 5 days for who knows what reason. So I had to download 11.2.1 in order to compile it, and this is kind of stuff we do. Let me see if I can fix this audio. Sorry about that, guys. All the stuff I was telling you guys before when the audio went out was just gold. It was pure. Let's see what. Okay, I'm gonna go through here and see if I pick up some different audio. I don't know why this this mic isn't working. Try one more time. And just one more time. USB advanced audio device, or we get it from the webcam. Alright, piece of junk. Alright, I'm just going to have to go with... Sorry about that. So, not only with the upgrade to Catalina last week do we have this flickering thing with the lights, we also have the problem with the sound. Sorry about that. The video's flickering a bit for you guys. Yeah, video's flickering, audio's bad. You know what? I'm just a mess, right? I'm a mess. Like this whole... Ever since I've upgraded to Catalina, we just had issues. And I thought we got all like... In fact, the microphone was working. I checked the audio levels before we started. But this blue microphone, this fancy blue microphone, that cost me whatever, 80 pounds, it just stopped working. So anyway, let me just start where I was going. This is this is Overpass Live. My name is Eric. I make apps. This is a weekly live stream where we talk about whatever we want to talk about. It's been a busy week for me. Yada yada yada. But let's go through and talk to everybody. Billy's the first one here. Hey Billy. Cord Funk is here. Azabus here. Yusak Grisior. I hope I'm saying it right. How's it going? James, hi. How's it going? Making English fun. No sound. Is it just me or sound muted? Yeah, Cody Chip. Sorry. No sound. No sound. Eric, you stopped giving sound after hey everybody. That's really hey everybody. Oh goodness, you know what? Okay, you can lip read. We heard a few seconds and then gone. Check OBS, no sound. Yeah, I know. I think it's a microphone. I think the first of all, with OBS on Catalina, OBS has loads of different problems with it. So right now I'm using the default microphone from the laptop, which sucks. But let's see. And it does sound like I've got Xcode running because it's just really noisy. And the video is flickering. So Cody Witcham says, what is your daily driver phone? My current daily phone is an iPhone 8. It is not my phone of preference. I prefer to go with an Android phone. But well, I guess it's been 2 years. I'm due for an upgrade of getting a new phone. And I'm not on a contract. I just go out and buy them because because you always need them around. So that's my day-to-day phone is an iPhone 8 running iOS 13, whatever the latest version is. I always keep up to date, which my developers complained about. A few weeks ago they were complaining that I was on iOS 13 and the Apple doesn't work on iOS 13, and I'm going, what's live? You guys need to fix that. So so that's my day-to-day phone. But I really want to get an Android Pixel. And you know what I hate about the iPhone? Is because I'm part of the Google infrastructure. Like we use G Suite. I got Google Play Music. I've got I use all that kind of stuff. And Siri doesn't do anything. I think Siri now supports Spotify, so at least that's something. But that's kind of it. So let's see. Dervish, hello chicken butt. I don't understand what you're saying. Let's see. Good thing is that you have a lot of ad impressions every time I update the page. That's right. Stedo Fire, hey, how's it going? Oh, where are we? Hey, Eric. Julio Cruz, happy Friday, Julio. Cody Witchip says your microphone is 32-bit. You need a 64-bit microphone. It's been working every week up until now, so I don't know. Making English Fun says been off work, teacher in Hong Kong. So finished a couple of apps at that time. They're in beta and want to take a look. We have a link. We'll have to link them in. They have videos, but not updated yet. Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, Making English Fun, put them in here. I have been struggling. So like up until the starting it, and then the microphone cuts out on me, I've been struggling trying to get the screen display working on this, which has to do with the new permissions on Catalina. Basically, OBS doesn't work like the way it used to. So in order to get it to work with the video capture, you have to run it through the terminal, and then because the terminal is actually recording the screen, you have to grant the terminal access to do display capture. UK Baz, yo UK Baz. Hussein Gokas is here. I got a Note 10 and it's pretty good. It says Making English Fun. The Note, so I've never used a Galaxy Note. In fact, when I got this iPhone 8, I've always been the bigger the better. So the bigger the phone, the better. And then when I went with the iPhone 8, I actually went with the smaller size. I thought, from a testing point of view, and when clients do stuff, I can't just show everything on a big phone all the time. So I went with the iPhone 8, and I kind of like it. I like the smaller size. It makes me relegate it more to use it as a phone or whatever, taking videos or pictures. Whereas the iPad, if I want to watch a movie, I'll watch it on the iPad. And I've got that giant 12.9-inch iPad Pro. And the thing my whole thing with iPads is it's not necessary. Like it's almost like the MacBook, then the iPad, then the phone. It's like iPad, even though they have the new iPad OS, it's still just big iPhone, right? It's still big iPhone except it can't make calls. But it's a nice piece of kit. But it makes no sense to me why you wouldn't have your one device between the two of them, the same way that the Microsoft Surface does, which I think is actually pretty cool. Cord Funk said, this week has been rough for me as well. Been rewriting C++ code, first time calling JNI from Flutter app. Good fun. Dude, I've had so much trouble this week. I was talking about the Xcode not working. It's just been busy. It's been I've been stressed. Like I could feel like that stress in my shoulders, and I was gonna go see him. So, like, it's because you got developers. I mean, developers coming to me with problems on a daily basis. We got clients having problems. Yeah, sometimes you just feel like you're like squeezed in the middle, and like you're just trying to keep everything moving, right? And sometimes it can just get so exhausting. So I could feel like my shoulders and tightening over the week, and I know it was stress related because like somebody would start talking to me about something, and I could just feel it kind of going up my shoulders. So I was like yesterday, I did take a couple hours. I thought I'm gonna go see a masseuse or a sports massage person, right? And then I thought, you know, 50 pounds for an hour, and then I went and watched a bunch of YouTube videos on how to massage myself. There's actually quite a few of them out there, and it really helped a lot. For those of you guys who may be suffering that in the future, it has nothing to do with apps. Sesson says, "Hi Eric, I'm a really big fan of your videos, very educational. Is it possible to say how much income a certain app generates if it's installed, say, 100,000 times in Android and iOS platforms?" Yeah, this is a question I get a lot, and like, so if I had 1,000 downloads, how much money would I make? And it really depends on the monetization methods. If it's ads, if it's in-app purchases, so you're looking at it's not just the downloads or the installs. You're talking about, because once it's installed, you don't make anything when it's installed, but you do get but that's the first step. Like that's them walking through the shop door, and then you think, can you get them to do an in-app purchase? How many ads can you display to them without it being too much? And are the ads enough that they're actually interested in those projects, those products? And ads on an app are different than ads on television because they take you out of the app. Like as a developer, presumably you want them in the app. You want them in the app doing the app stuff, and not leaving your app to go follow some ad to some other application back to the Play Store to download something else. But still, it's been a big revenue generator for me. So it's really difficult to say whether if you have 100,000 times, if it's been installed 100,000 times on both iOS and Android, how much would it make? First of all, iOS through ads makes more money. iOS through in-app purchases also makes more money in my experience. On Google Play, I've always done better with ads because generally you have people like if you look at the market share. Let's have a look at since we could do my mouse has stopped working too. So just like right before the live stream, that's when everything decided to stop working. But let's look at stat counter. So, and I know I've talked about this before, and I'm going off on tangents, but that's kind of what we do here. So if you go to stat counter, which is a really good website, because they keep it really up to date, and I've done, I think it was like a year ago or 2 years ago where I looked at this. So we can go try it for free. Oh, you have to register now? All right, I'll bring this up later. I'll do it next time. But like, you could go in there and actually see the. I think you used to have to register for it. All right. Okay, my apologies for that. But like, if you look at it, if you like in the U.S. and in the U.K., you're talking about like a 50-50 split between Android and iPhone. So that's the way it is. But Android takes the majority, like on a global basis, it's like 80-20. So like globally, Android has like 80% of the market share. And this is from a few months ago, and I'm pretty sure it's probably the same. If not, I mean, unless Android is taking even more market share. Right? So you see that split. But when you talk about countries that spend a lot more money through applications, which would be the United States, the United States for me has always been the big one, right? In the UK, I haven't made a whole lot of money through UK users. But if you look at the United States through in-app purchases, they make a lot through in-app purchases. It's predominantly on the iPhone. So so anyway, there's so many different things to talk about. Just 100 installs, and which we'll work on. So oh, you just say, I know it's very difficult to say. I know it's not possible to check out how much income a certain app is generating as long as you don't own it. Yeah, I mean, there is, so if, like, App Annie has those stats if you pay for that service, but I think it's estimated, so, and it's, like, super expensive, like, App Annie, I went to an App Annie event and I did a video while I was there. I couldn't do it inside, but I asked them, but they were kind of just clueless. Like they never even followed up with me. Like I went in and there was a bunch of people there. They let us play around with the App Annie platform. They didn't tell us how much it cost. It was almost like it seemed like it seemed like one of these meetings where like people were told they need to get more people to use it and they just didn't know what to do. So they said, "Come here, use it for like an hour," and then you just leave. But you were able to look at other applications and how much. So I was able to look at my competitors, see how much they're making, how many downloads they have, and that's all because App Annie has so many people like linked to their system, which was kind of cool. Dervish says on the right side it's written chicken butt. See, okay, I did it. So I've had this up there saying like and subscribe for weeks, and then I thought I want to put something else up there. And you know what? I've had the week this week where I'm just like, I just want, I just wanted to put that up there because I think every time somebody new comes in, like every time like the lights flickering, as the stream goes on, people will join this live stream and say, "Why are the lights flickering?" Even though we talked about it. So I just thought I just write chicken chicken butt. By the way, if you're a dad and you never used the chicken butt joke with your kids, dude, you're missing out, right? Because you know what? Chicken butt. So Fist 007 is here. Hey, Fist 007. Simon Supper Time. Hello from America. I've heard of it. Been there once or twice. Hello from America. I'm half listening to you and half listening to Trump impeachment hearings. Spoiler, he did everything he's accused of and more, but the House has to convince the Senate. I watched that the other day. I was like, I fell asleep watching some of the impeachment hearings, and I keep watching it, like hoping that the big moment would come, like the soundbite moment. But and I dozed off. I mean, it's been a lot of work this week. James chicken butt lol. Eric doesn't know there's a huge chicken butt written on the wall behind him. Who do you think there's nobody else in this office? Like, it's graffiti. I was trying to think. I was saying I should write something else up there, and I thought about doing like topics of stuff we could talk about and be like, make sure you like and subscribe, make sure this or whatever, And then I thought I'll just I don't. Just coding with you. iPhone 8, nice, but bought a brand new iPhone 8 on Black Friday deal. Company development mostly, but I'm thinking of making it a daily driver. I do use wireless charging. I do have a wireless charger on my desk. I got like this cheap Chinese from the wish.com website. I got this cheap wireless charger thing, which it's nice, but it's got this little light on it, so I can't, like, a lot of the stuff, like if you get, like, I got these fake AirPods from China, and I got this fake, these chargers, and they like to have the blinking light on it for some reason. Both these things do, which means if you're using them at night, like on your bedside table, it's just annoying. So I only use it in the office. But I do use the wireless charging. But I don't have it on other things. Let's see. Julio says, what do you think about the new Motorola Razr foldable coming out in January? I don't, personally, I think it's weird. I think every time I look at those folding phones, I think it's just weird. I mean, you put a crease in anything, surely after a while, that's going to be like a weak spot on it. But I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong, and it's the kind of thing where, okay, so I have for the longest time, when I bought this Apple Pencil and the iPad Pro, I would go to meetings and I wouldn't get it out because it was, every time I did, people were like, ooh, what? Like we were talking about the iPad and the Apple Pencil so much that it was just distracting, right? And there's something about the foldable phone where while it's not as bad as Google Glass would have been, I think it's just kind of weird to take it out in public and just, do that. And maybe I'm shallow and superficial. Like I just want a normal phone when it comes to that stuff. But yeah, that's just me. Let's see. Making English from that's the two. Pics and video have been replaced but updated in Play Store yet. James says, I think someone is laughing really hard at this moment. Yeah, that was me. I did write that up. It wasn't like my kids or anything, although if they were in here, they would do it. Samira Chatharanga says, hi, I'm always watches your videos. Your channel is more helpful. Thanks, I appreciate that. This week is one of the reasons that I was stressed out this week was because last weekend I had resolved, I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a video every day this week. Done one. I've done one, and I'd recorded it last week. But I thought, I'm going to get on with this and just do a video every day. And then I was just slammed with with work and requirements and stuff coming up, and it's just been one of those weeks. So I haven't done, but as well, I think part of me feels like, so I do 2 videos a week and I do the live stream. Sometimes I'll do 3 videos a week, and I was doing it every day for like 2.5 years, and I miss doing it every day because I feel lazy. I feel like, and I know there's other people who I talked to who said they haven't done a video in months, or they want to do it or whatever. But I think it was doing it every day made it feel like, although sometimes they suck, but you know what? When I started doing it twice a week, sometimes they suck. So it was like, at least do it every day. Let's get more out there. And there's so much this week I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about Google Cardboard being made open source. I want to talk about the fact that Android 11 may make ADB wireless, so you can do ADB install wireless and everything like that, because that would be kind of cool. Although, I imagine it'll be just as buggy as everything else that's wireless. Like sometimes it connects, sometimes it doesn't. There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. I do have some articles here on my laptop that I'd like to talk about too. But we'll go through these questions and see if we get to them. I put a bunch of articles on my laptop just in case nobody showed up and I had nothing to talk about, which has never happened before. But I'm having one of those kind of weeks. Barama app says, "Hey, I'm having headaches recording new play content policies." Regarding the new play content policies, for example, they don't like one of my app icons is a cartoon character, but the target audience is all ages. Really, they don't like? So you've actually done all ages, and you have a cartoon character. See, when we had a couple months ago, well, was it earlier this year when we had to go through and put our target audiences on there? I went through and I made none of them below 13, and it's mainly because I don't know what other paperwork's going to be involved. Like I don't, the whole Child Online Protection Privacy Act, is that what it's called? Privacy Protection Act. COPPA, like I don't know very much about that. I don't know if you need paperwork, if I need to register with it. Like I don't know. I haven't even researched that much, and I was like, I don't care if kids don't use my apps. And then I did have one, which is definitely a kids app, called How I Met Santa, and that one they wouldn't let me do it. They said, no, this one definitely is meant for kids, and that was flagged up, probably because it had cartoon characters on it. But is that what you're talking about? Do you have issues with any of your apps? Just that one, because it had Santa Claus on the icon, and they said this one is definitely attracted at kids. And to be honest, kids can use any one of my apps, but it's really weird when you get asked that, because you try to make it, even if you try to make an app for everybody, they go, is it intended for people under 13? It's like, it's not intended for them, but it doesn't have like swear words in it, or there's not like content that it's not like a movie where you say this would be offensive for anybody under 13, but it's just that kind of, because I know you have a whole bunch of issues with ads and stuff like that. So Stedo Fire says, oh boy, I'm waiting for his reaction. So we talk about the chicken butt. You know what? Chicken butt. Where am I? Let's see. The Pro Info says, hello, I build multiplayer 2D games, which is the best server to be played on. Which is the best server to be played online? So a multiplayer 2D game, which is the best server to be played online. You're talking about like actual, like so like the one that I've looked at was Noob Hub, and that it's almost like uses Sockets.io, so you can have it. So it's like you can use it for a chat engine, but it does have that immediate response and everything going back and forth. So, and that was a few years ago. So, I mean, there must be better ones than that now. I know if you can do like turn-based games, which is you can do that through Google Play services, Google Play Game Services, but I've never done it. But like I have done a bit with Noob Hub, and it's based on like PubNub, I think is the one. So let's have a look at this Noob Hub. And this is one that I was looking at. I don't know if this is just one that I know about, which is Noob Hub, network multiplayer, and and messaging for Corona SDK. This is more for Corona, which is what I was using. But what we were doing, we were not doing so it works very much like Sockets.io. So you have that continuous connection. You subscribe to the thing, you're getting the responses back. But rather than send text strings like you would with a chat engine, you would actually send whatever JSON statements, so X and Y coordinates. And what we did was we had like a drawing application. So you draw on your phone, and somebody else would see it drawing in real time, and it would just be like the points. So it was basically just an array of the points of the drawing. So as you're drawing, it's recording the array of the points and sending it to NoobHub, and then that sends it back to all the other people who are subscribed to that same channel. And it worked really well, except for somebody who joined in late and they didn't get to see all the strokes beforehand. And I thought, hey, that was one of the things where I thought that was going to be my next big thing. At one point, that was going to be my next big thing. And we never actually went through and did it. But that's the only one that I know of. What about the rest of you guys? You guys know of any other like multiplayer type stuff like that? Like game engines? Because I'm not sure if you can have. I'm not sure if you could have like that kind of like really quick response time on Google Play game services. I know it does turn-based, but because another thing you have to think about is the bandwidth of all that connection ongoing. Let's see, Brahma app says my iOS app eCPMs are 3 times eCPM for the same apps, Android for the same apps. I found that too. I found it's surprising if you look at per impression, the RPMs is a lot higher on iOS. I don't know why that is. Maybe because there's fewer phones, there's less real estate. It's and or maybe advertisers find that iOS users are more likely to buy. But I don't know what the reason is. But they are. You do make more from the iOS apps. So. Fire says, "Are you playing around with Google Cardboard?" No. The thing I wanted to talk about was earlier this week where let's see, where was it? Google Cardboard goes open source of VR development halts. So this is just one of an example of something where it says Google has open sourced Google Cardboard project as Mountain View winds down its mobile VR ambitions. And it refers. So this article from developertech.com talks about it as a failing project. If you actually go to the blog post for this on Android, Google Developers blog, they really just talk about how the fact that they're just making it open source. But it's kind of one of these things where I was really excited about Google Cardboard. I never did anything with it. I played around with it a little bit. I used the was it 3.js and played around with that a little bit, trying to see just get shapes, so like you look and then see the shape. But other than that, I have not done a whole lot with it. But that's just one of these things. We talk about, like, if I was going to do a video this week, we could talk about that, because like I would have missed that if Julia hadn't sent me the link to that. So. But yeah, so other than that, I've never really done much with Google Cardboard. But it was one of those things where I always thought, one day I will. Like one day I'm going to do it. Like one day I'm going to travel to. I'm going to backpack through Europe. Like, so one of those one day kind of things. Like, speaking of, like, this week I went with a new prospect, and we had the meeting with their developers or with their technical people, and one of their top developers asked me the question, do you use unit tests, right? And every time somebody asks me if I use unit tests, I feel like the same way as when the dentist asks me if I floss every day. It's like, yeah, sure I do. Like, I could. I know how. Like, I've done it before. I'm just sometimes a bit lazy. So, yeah, it's just the same thing. But it's like, do you use Google Cardboard? No, but I would like to. One day I will. One day I wanted to do it, or do some sort of thing like that. So. Let's see. And again, for those guys just joining us, sorry about the audio, sorry about the flickering camera, sorry about chicken butt on the board. AppBrain is free, I guess. Check the potential earnings from AppBrain. Could you see that on AppBrain? CordFunk says, if I go to a site and they don't display the prices, I turn around. Or if it says contact sales, I do that too. It's difficult when you have an app, and this is one of the things. I wanted to have like set prices on app development, and so many people consultants and stuff said, "Yeah, I think you should have some sort of like a menu of things that people could order, right?" And I thought about that in like because I think I'm the same way. I don't want to contact somebody. If I see something saying, "Hey, contact us to find out how much it's going to cost," it means like that means you haven't really thought it through. But like when you're talking about like you know creating an app from scratch, sometimes it's like there's so many variables there that if I did go in and say check boxes, so do you want social media integration or do you want a database? Do you want all this stuff? And you went through and ticked all these things and it gave you a ballpark based on that. It would either, in order to cover all the eventualities, I'd either have to make it like a really high price and that would scare people off anyway, or I would make it too low. And then when they actually came through and they said, okay, and then we want this, 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 and this, and I'd be like, ooh, that's more than we said, and that's one of the reasons why I haven't done it. So. But yeah, I'm the same way. Let's see. BizYG says, has anyone registered on Huawei Dev Console? I've registered. I haven't put any apps on there yet. Rodrigo does a Twitch stream. Rodrigo, you don't mind if I say that, do you? He did some live coding yesterday. So for those of you guys who are Rodrigo fans, I happen to be one of them. He's got a Twitch channel. Let's see. IO Games. Hey, Eric, great fan. Thank you so much, IO Games. Appreciate it. Rodrigo says, next week I'll be building a dad's joke PWA. Do that. Dad jokes PWA. You know, the pull my finger, what's this? What else do we have? Oh, God, there's so much. You know, the big one with me is every time my kids say, like, tanks, like they were playing the game World of Tanks, or they'll say, or I'll say, what are those vehicles over there called? And I was like, tanks. And I was like, you always follow up with, you're welcome, right? And it's like, they're so bored of it. Because if you ever do that, you know, they say, you know, when you were in the Army, did you see very many tanks, right? And I was like, did I see many what? I was like, tanks. He said, you're welcome. At first, they kind of chuckle a little bit, but then after a while, they just get angry. They get annoyed with it. All right, Dad. And that's the joy of dad jokes, right? Because you push them too far. IO Game says, I'm not able to get traffic on iOS or Android. Any quick tip? They're both different, so there's no quick tips that I can think of. What I would do is play around, and the first thing you do is play around with your keywords in your title. If you know, can you search for it yourself? Yeah, I mean, always think about, you know, how are people going to find it? The same way as if you set up a restaurant, you think, how are people going to find this restaurant, right? Are they going to be walking down the street? Are they going to be looking for something that's next door and then happen to find this? Are they already looking for what you have to offer? And if so, what are they searching for, right? So, and does your, like, if you had a, let's see, and I'll go to the restaurant example because, I mean, it's easy. And everything I say is going to be really obvious, but I just want to say it anyway because I'm obvious. So let's say, like, I say I have a pizza restaurant and I call it Eric's, right? Eric's, right? Nice big sign, Eric's, right? And there's a picture of me, like whatever, wearing a chef's hat on the sign, right? And I find that nobody's coming in, nobody can find it, nobody's even doing that. Then I might want to consider changing it to Eric's Pizza or Eric's Pizzeria or Eric's Pizza and Chicken Wings or whatever, and I would change those kind of things so if somebody was looking for it, they would know what it is. They would know to even walk in the door, right? And that thing with search is like they're going to be searching for certain things that your app has, and then I mean, I think Eric's is a better name than Eric's Pizzeria because it's my name, right? But you know, at some point you have to think about it's that nice balance, like the really cool name versus are people actually going to find it, and that's one of the good things about a subtitle. If you put a subtitle on it, that's just one thing to do. IO Games. Let's see. Sesson. I'm sorry. I know I'm saying it wrong. I know it's. I sometimes see that an app has been installed 100,000 times in less than 3 months. Are there dirty ways to increase the number of installs? I almost suspect if numbers are really true for certain apps. I think so too. I see other apps and they have fake installs, and I always get contacted by people like, you know, to buy installs. I don't know, when it's people talk about buy installs, they either talk about paying for pay-per-click, pay-per install applications, or they talk about you know, that kind of like, or they talk about actually like a click farm type of thing, going in through and download your apps and just increase your numbers. But that's not going to make you any money. right? If they go through and they have a click farm that goes through and clicks on ads, and that will make you some money until you get suspended, right? And then you know, so I mean, they're always going to know. They're always going to know because Google has enough information that they know when something's out of the ordinary. They can guess everything we're going to do. Isn't it weird that when you open up Google Drive, they say, you normally check this document this time of day, or if you're going to go, like they tell you, here's your path to home based on you're usually traveling home at this time of day, right? It's just like, it's weird. So Google knows a lot, and they'll know if you're trying to scam those numbers, but um, I think there probably are shadier ways to do it, but you're talking about paying for installs. You're not going to make any revenue from those installs, and the only thing that maybe it might do is trick the algorithm into thinking um, that it's better than it is. But IO games, I've done ASO. Yeah, so what I said was basic, keyword optimization type of thing. But and when you say you've done ASO, it's like saying I've done marketing, right? There's so many different things you could do. It's like it's not like A, B, and C. Like I've done ASO. ASO's done. Now what's next? It's like it's always a thing. You're always tweaking things and moving things around a bit. You guys can still hear me, right? Chicken butts. Yes, chicken butt. Pizza. Eric's pizza kebab and chicken butts. That's right. I'm gonna put that on the sign. You know why? Because I don't care. This week I just don't care. I have one of those weeks where I'm like, oh, I should write something on the board. It's been on the same. That like and subscribe has been on the board every live stream for the past 3 weeks. What should I write up there? And I thought, yeah, chicken butt, chicken butt. Because you know what, chicken butt. You're starting to get angry now too, aren't you? That's the dad jokes. You push them too far. You go too far. If you don't go too far as a dad, you're not doing your job. Apavelli says, hey, Eric, do you think releasing a free and paid version of your app in the Play Store is a good strategy? I do. I still think it is. Some people just don't want to do the whole in-app purchase thing, right? They just want to buy it, right? They want to get the full version, and it's easier. It's difficult to restore in-app purchases. It's difficult to, like, if you want to get one for your kids or something, it's difficult to go through that whole process. Okay, Rodrigo and I have been working on a project this week, and we're doing in-app purchases. And you know what? I hate doing in-app purchases in apps. They're so hard to test. You have to set up so many test accounts and then go through and do those, and it's just such a pain. But you also make money through in-app purchases. So for me, I think about in-app purchases being like, so if you have like 5 things that people can buy in your app, it should be more expensive if they were going to buy them individually, right? Almost like if you're going to buy tracks on an album rather than just buy the whole album, or if you're going to buy like episodes of a series, right? If they just want certain things, then yeah, they could do that, but try to encourage them to go and buy the full version, and then they'll get upgrades whenever they do and everything like that. So I do think it's a good strategy. Plus, you get 2 different targets on keywords, right? You could, I mean, the title should be the same, but you can start tweaking things a little bit. So if your free version doesn't come up in search, maybe your paid version does, or vice versa. Maybe you could try different screenshots in them, although I usually have the same screenshots. Let's see. Durvash Naik says, what do you think the upcoming trends for mobile apps that people would be searching for organically? God, if I knew that, I would be going there. A lot of the stuff we've been doing lately is corporate stuff because of that. But let's see, what do we have coming up? We've got all these, well, I guess the big trend at the moment is all the streaming digital channels we have coming up, right? Even that might be too late to do something regarding that. So if you're going to have like a directory of all those different types of things, I still think that having a good, I still think having a good utility is a good. I mean, it's difficult to say because what's the last thing you searched for, right? Is it health? Was it health and fitness application? Was it something to pass the time? Was it a game? Was it a utility? Was it and what were the things that it lacked that you could have had? So if I knew that, I would just be constantly churning stuff out. And I think that probably the best thing to do would be try to think of something, and this is easier to say, hard to do, is to think of something that's something that you would really like, and doesn't exist yet, and then the ideal situation is something that if you show to somebody, they go, "Oh, that's neat, that's cool," right? An example would be Shazam. Shazam was like, somebody shows you Shazam, and you just look at it going, "Ah." Somebody shows you Fake App, right? You get it, immediately. If you see somebody playing Angry Birds, you want to do that. Um, and I think that was one of the successes I had with the Air Spy was it was compelling so that even if somebody looked at it, they would think, um, I want to give that a try. See if that thing really works. And which is like I said, it's easier to say than to do. Let's see. Um, Simon Summertime, blink. Simon Summertime says, blinking lights getting you down. Any color nail polish will solve that. Use a light coating if you still want to see a bit of light. Is that a commercial? Is that like a commercial in the States? We don't have commercials here. Well, we do. I don't know what they are. I used to be able to sing. So I'm going off on a tangent here. So I used to be able to sing every jingle that was on TV. I watched so much TV as a kid and a teenager, and even in my early 20s, that I could tell what day it was by what was on TV. It was Monday night I think Monday night was L.A. Law. Tuesday night was Moonlighting. Wednesday night was L.A. Law, or no, it was Max Headroom, and then Thursday night was I can't forget. But then it was Miami Vice. Like every day I knew what it was, and I know all these jingles that are stuck in my head. Like I know the entire theme to the Love Boat. Love, exciting and new. I could go on the next 5 minutes singing it. Every single verse, even the stuff that most people don't know, and they're like surprised, set a course for adventure, your mind on a new romance, right? I need to clear this space in my brain, right? It's never gonna help me, right? I can't even learn machine learning because I got the Love Boat theme up there. But so yeah, is that what that is? Matthew Creek, hey Matthew, how's it going? Says I published a new app on Google Play, but I cannot find it. App Annie says it's been removed, but Google support says it's available. Really? What's the what is it? Supreme Cat support says asking it third time. What did you ask? Why do I keep missing your questions? Are they getting blocked by Google? By YouTube? Supreme Cat support, could you please put your question back in, whatever it is? Because I am not ignoring anybody. And yeah, Moonlighting was classic. Moonlighting is, to this day, if I think like as a kid, I think when I grow up, I want to be like David Addison, Bruce Willis in Moonlighting. That was it. Now, to this day, I think I want to be like Bruce Willis. I mean, not like Bruce Willis because he's kind of weird, really. But like, I want to be like that. KDQ says the greatest American hero. I love that. William Catt. What was his name? Hinckley, whatever. And it was and Max. No, Bill Maxwell, the FBI guy. Yeah, believe it or not, I used to love that show. I must have been 8 or 9 maybe on that came out. I used to love that show. Believe it or not. So he started. Eric completely wigged out, wrote chicken butt on the board, and started singing the greatest American hero theme. Let's see. I'm going back up. Let's see. Making English Fun says, the first one is phonics quiz. I think it's a non-1. The icon is a white one. So let's go to show my screen here. All right. No more singing, Eric. That's what everyone says eventually. So it's phonics 1, right? The first one is a phonics quiz. Sorry. So we're looking at this for Making English Fun. Phonics quiz under apps. Phonics quiz, Making English Fun. Cool. The white one. So this is Phonics and ABC quiz. Learn to read the easy way. Cool. So we got the screenshots here. My mouse keeps. Choose your subject. Welcome to the Great Big English Quiz. Answer sharp, true or false. Cool. I think it looks. I mean, making English fun. Do you think it? I mean, I know I say this all the time, but do you think we could have some sort of like text on the screenshots here? Let's do this phonics. Let's do this. What I want to check. Let's check this on app. So we'll have a look at this one over on App Annie. I think I'm giving out gold. Can you guys still hear me with this nasty microphone here? You know, oh, here, bought his nice big microphone and got a lot of good at it. Oh, come on. This is App Annie has a form that apparently looks for on change event and it's not being triggered by LastPass. So let's go with a phonics quiz. Okay, I'm just gonna go with this a random one. We'll just change it in the URL. Okay, so this is the App Annie. Oh, why is it going here? Go back. So for some reason, when was this actually? I know I'm asking these questions, but I'm not looking at the responses. But so this was 17th of April. Why are we not seeing this on App Annie? There we go. So let's look at keywords in ASO. Just want to see how it's doing. And if you watch the live stream regularly, you know I go through the same steps, looking at the App Annie keywords and everything. What time is it? 1. So we got look at United. So I'm gonna look at the United States because for me it's the biggest market. So phonics quiz, you're number 1 for phonics quiz. You're number 13 for phonics. Let's have a look at that. ABC phonics, fun phonics. Looks like you're doing pretty good here. So look. Over time. So we've got phonics quiz, you've been at the top. Fun phonics is kind of going up. Learn phonics I think would probably be the best one, right? Or would be learn phonics or practice phonics? So that you're on, let's actually learn phonics I like the look of. So let's have a look at that one. So, and we haven't changed the name here at all. So we've got learn to read the easy way. So to me, it's looking very positive. But I mean, we have like learn phonics. I'm wondering if you could somehow, if you were to put learn phonics into the title, if it would improve it at all. What do you guys think? What y'all think? Let's see. So. Cord Funk says, "What is Google Cardboard?" Come on, everyone knows what Google Cardboard is, don't we? Let's see. UK Bass says, "Have you ever played around with Google Beacon?" Is Google Beacon? That's not like Bluetooth beacons, is it? I haven't, to be honest. UK Bass. Rodrigo says, "ADB has had wireless forever. I think I told you that in the past, Eric. I use it daily in wireless mode. It is awesome and as fast." This was, I'm not making this up. There was an article saying that it might support ADB wirelessly, but I told you a year and 1 month ago. All right. Remember, hey, Rodrigo, remember when you told me about Fastlane, and then later, like a year later, I told you about Fastlane because obviously you just went. That's just it. Sometimes things just don't penetrate this It's the Love Boat theme. The Love Boat theme is clouding up the rest of my thing. Can you see like a doctor or something and like having them help you forget things? Just clear some disk space up there. Barama app says yes, they rejected my update. They say that my app has a cartoon character. It um, should be less than 13. That's kind of the same thing I had. I bailed on mine. I didn't really chase it any further because the app was a few years old. But let me know how you get on with that, Brahma apps. I would appeal it, or change the icon. Fist007 says, I have a very specific question for a very scary situation. What if you signed a somewhat big contract with a client and you've been paid the first payment, and it turns out that your developers, after several months, realize they can't build the app? How would you handle this situation? This is a very scary question, Fist007, and it has it. I mean it hasn't happened, but it's come close to like where I'm thinking these guys are, see if they could do this. Well, this is one of the reasons why I don't do jobs that I can't code myself, because I'm too like I take on a job like we'll do like Ionic or we'll do native or we'll do like I recently turned down the Xamarin job because I wasn't quite sure. Like I was like, if I had to jump in there, I couldn't do it. Right, and that's just my personal safety net. And I don't know how other people would do it. Right, my business model sounds easy to somebody from the outside, which is all you have to do is get a client, get developers, make the developers do the work, add a markup, and then you're fine, right? But the reality is the developers have so many questions. It's like you're trying to keep everybody moving in the right direction. Sometimes they'll be doing things the wrong way. The clients will be saying things that don't make sense to the developers and vice versa. A lot of times the clients will be using terms from their industry that makes sense to them, but doesn't make sense to me, doesn't make sense to the developer, so you have to be that in-between. It's almost like you're the translator between the two of them, and you're also accepting all of the risks of that project, which is, but that's just it. There are times, Fist007, where I am sitting here at midnight in the office. I'm just like, getting stuff done because somebody has let me down, right? And there's always going to be a developer who lets you down, right? There's always going to be a client who lets you down. There's going to be technology that lets you down. There's going to be downloads that let you down. There's going to be algorithms that let you down. And it's like sometimes, things should work a certain way. And if you keep beating yourself up about them, you're going to go crazy. But sometimes you just have to okay, I need to get different developers on this. I need to do that. And Fist007, this is a very good reason why your markup has to be decent, right? It can't be like 10% or 20%. You have to have a good markup because you're accepting all the risks of that project, right? And I know people don't seem to understand that, but it's like the developer should be able to do it, but you never know. They could get hit by a bus. You know how us developers, we get hit by buses on daily basis, according to our users, right? So, but if that ever happened to you, your developer just goes missing, right? That's happened to me before. The developer goes missing. Scary as chicken butt. Scary as chicken butt. Right, so that could happen. So make sure your markup is good enough, Fist007. And if you've already taken on a project and you think that's going to happen, you'll work your way through it. Right, your job is to make sure that the client is always. It should always look easy to the client, right? It should always look like everything's going perfectly, even though maybe in the background you're scrambling around. You're putting on a show and the lead actor's broken his leg, right? You're like saying, ladies and gentlemen, we'll just be a few more minutes. We're going to start a little bit late on this project, but everything's going really well. And then you run behind the curtain and panic, right? Sometimes you have projects like that. Sometimes I wish I could say that wasn't the case, but it is. It just is. And that was what I'm going to do my video on about tomorrow, because I've been thinking about it all week. There was this, and I'm going to say it now, but I was going to do my video on this. There was on Netflix, there was the Eddie Murphy movie, Dolomite Is My Name. Right? I don't know if you've seen it. It's okay. It's a pretty good movie, but there's like Rudy Ray Moore, Eddie Murphy in the movie, is just like constantly trying to push this film through. And people are complaining, and they're some people are trying their best, but they're not like genuine actors, and he's paying for it all himself. And there's a Wesley Snipes as the director in the movie, where he's like a big shot who comes into direct, and he's just complaining the whole time, and then finally Eddie Murphy or Rudy Ray Moore takes him aside and says, "Look, it's not cool. These people are working really hard. If a box has to be moved, I'll move the box. I'll move the box. If the crew gets hungry, I'll go downstairs and make sandwiches. Right? He'll do whatever he has to do to get it done. And if you're doing a project, Fist 007, and your client is trusting you, you have to do whatever it takes to get it done, even if everything goes wrong. And it's not fun, but it's just that's the game we play." Cord Funk says it's better to ask for forgiveness and permission. Impossible to be a complaint on everything. That's true. Um, let's see. I'm way behind on the question. Sorry about this, guys. But again, like I was talking to my son last week. Last week after the live stream, I went to go pick up my son. He said he watched a bit of it. He goes, "Dad, I put a question in there, and you didn't get to it like till 45 minutes afterwards. I think you should just keep watching the end of the stream, and if somebody wants to ask a question enough, they'll keep asking it." But I think if you ask a question, you deserve to get an answer. I appreciate you guys being here. Let's see. But where was I? I'm way behind. Oh yeah, and make sure you smash that like button. Let's see. Oh, I'm way behind. Okay, I'm going to try to answer questions faster. All right, no more tangents. I'm going to be yes/no answers. Let's see. Brahma app says I don't want to because I need to change ad mob. Sorry, am I still sharing my screen here? Cool. Let's see. Oh, Fist 007, and of course you cannot build the app yourself. I think that's one of the things. If you have to go onto Upwork and find somebody to do what you need to do, or there's been times where I've had a project. Well, like I said, there's times where you're panicking, and the whole thing is you want to make sure that the client doesn't see it, right? You hire the best people you can with the budget that you have, and if they let you down, they let you down. That's the risk that you assume. And sometimes it's down to you just to make sure. Like sometimes begging somebody, just look, I know you're busy, but I really need this done this weekend. I really need this done by Tuesday. I really need this done, because it's and that's you being between. You got the developers on one side, the client on the other side, and you're just trying to keep everything going. You're making sure the trains run on time. Cody with Chip says, "Don't you guys have co-working hubs in London? Why did you spend money on an office rather than renting your own office in a hub? Isn't that cheaper?" Yeah, Cody with Chips, it is. There's a hub down the hallway. And I nearly did it earlier this year when I moved from the bigger office to the smaller one. I was going to move to a co-working hub, but then I can't do this. I can't do the videos. I can't do, there's. I also don't. I like having the solitude of just my own space. And I know I could go into a co-working space, put my headphones in, and nobody would bother me. But I also want to, I want to do live streams. I want to do videos. I want to do more than just that. I have a client come by. I want to be able to bring him in here. So it's I just like having my own space, right? I don't want to share space with somebody else. And I know it might sound a bit silly, but it's I do I like having all this. I like having this empire in front of me. But there are hubs in and there's some in this building. Let's see. Vetrapush says, "Time to Google what chicken butt is." It's what? Chicken butt. Let's see. Also, I wanted my apps to remove content target not set, but can't set it because I'm getting unknown error every time I try to set it up. Weird. Making English Fun said the second one is very new, and we'll ask next week. I'll have to put the direct link here, otherwise. Okay, cool. Photon GameSparks, Photon GameSparks, PlayFab are quite good multiplayer SDKs. Oh yeah, that's ages ago we talked about that. I want to make more. I want to make more from Android users with less impressions than Apple. Says Weather Action. Yeah, that would be good. I would say it depends a lot on the location where the users are. UK Bass says if you play with Google Beacon, I bet there's an Android developer price calculator app. There probably is. I see this all the time. How much does it create to do an app? And the article will either say it depends, or it'll have some sort of like calculator where it says it's 50,000 or 100,000. And I don't think like actual clients are looking at it. I think other developers are looking at it so they know what to charge. In fact, I've had developers call me up. I didn't know they were developers. They were trying to pretend to be clients. Like they're trying to pretend like they want an app made, and like, and then one guy just said, "Look, somebody wants to hire my brother to do this app, and to be honest with you, and we don't know what to charge him." And I was like, it made the phone call easier because like it was like, "Oh, you don't want me to do it? Cool. Here's what you should do, right?" Because I don't care, right? It's good. He's got a client. My whole advice to him was like, make sure you charge enough. Anticipate things going wrong because things will go wrong. Let's see. Sam C says, "Hey, hi Eric. What's the right price for a game on Play Store? It makes about 2,000 and 20,000 downloads per month without ads. $2,000 a month. What's the right price? I don't know why you'd want to sell that. Well, I had somebody contact me today through Instagram of all places, saying, "Do you want to buy this game for $700? It makes $595 a month." I'm like, and why would you want to sell that? Like, it sounds too good to be true. Right? Even like when it came to Ear Agent, but Ear Agent was making £3,000 a month, and somebody came to me and they said they wanted to buy it for like 5,000. I'm like, that would be like, I would think, depending on how far it goes. If I didn't think I could make more than that in a year, then it doesn't make any sense. So why would you want to sell that? That would be my question. And then how much revenue would you be losing out on over the course of a year? I would say maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years, depending on how good it is. So making English friends says, "I'm on Huawei, not hugely impressed. You can distribute the rest to the rest of the world, but still have to jump through hoops in the China market. I gave up with it, not giving so much info to them." Katie Q gave me a heart. Thanks, Katie. Let's see. Dervish Nike says, "Weekly dad training with Eric." Yeah, that's right. Yeah, this week we're gonna complain about Lego on the floor. That's let's see. Cody with Chip says, "How are you doing the bottom banner, and how are you doing the scrolling text?" So that's like something in OBS. I've found and I'm interested in the open source OBS, and it's like you can set a footer and put some text in there, and then I think there's a way to put scrolling on it. I can't remember what it was, but let's see. And then we got Eric's Pizza Kebab and Chicken Butts. That's right, chicken butts. It's an acquired taste. Like that video, everybody. It says Cody with Chip. Vedprakash, sorry about that. Vedprakash says, "One of my competitors is buying fake reviews for his app and increasing his rankings. And with the recent change in his rank algorithm, he has to buy less fake reviews because only recent reviews matter." Vedprakash, do you think you could flag him? I mean, I don't know how you could prove it, but it might be worth doing. You might be say, look, I mean, on Audible, I've noticed a lot of audiobooks with fake reviews, and they're so easy to spot, right? And it's made the Audible platform less reliable. It's annoying to me as a user, right? It's not like this guy's getting away with it. It's like he's making it bad for me as a user. And if you were going to flag that up to Google Play, I would say that, look, people are making decisions based on this guy buying fake reviews, and it's not right. Don't complain to them as a competitor. Complain to them as a user of Google Play. Say, I've used this app. It sucks. I looked at the reviews. They all come in at the same day. They're all very similar to each other. If I look at this reviewer and I look at other things he reviewed, it seems to be the same reviews. All that kind of look for a pattern and see if you can do that. Because I think anybody who buys fake reviews should be removed. And I can say that because although I've been tempted in the past, I've never done it. But I've been tempted, and if I had done it, I'd be like, just give the guy a chance. But I haven't done. Joel Gurdon, hey Joel, says, "Hello. Do you know if it's usual for rewarded ads to show test ads on download apps?" I don't think it is. I don't think it would be. So I think you have to check to see if there's an ad actually available. but I don't think it should do a test ad unless you have it set up. Do you have like add test device on your you know you have the test device set up on your Google Play, sorry, in your Android code? Um, let's see. Rodrigo says just made Travis CI work for the first time. How much do you use CI, continuous integration? I haven't used it really at all. I've used Fastlane a lot, and I've written Node.js scripts in Fastlane, but it's not continuous. So it's like, and I know there's Travis and Jenkins and all this kind of stuff out there, which are really big, and it's one of these things where I just need to get into that side of things. In fact, I'm getting to the point now where I'm having clients ask me, like, if I have clients that have a development team and you have developers who they work for one company, they have a lot of downtime. Well, I won't say that they have a lot of downtime, but they're able to really refine the way they do things, right? They're able to set up like really good systems, right? And it's not just produce. They're like doing that stuff. So they all ask me like, "Are you using continuous integration?" In fact, I was asked that this week if I'm using continuous integration. I was like, "No, not really." I mean, there's no reason for it other than lazy. Like I see the value in it. I see the value in if something gets changed, if something gets uploaded and it breaks a build between when you have multiple developers, or it runs through all the unit tests and everything. I think that's a really good thing, but I haven't done it. Joel says, I'm sorry, I already asked Joel's question. Sidar Sen says, do you use Flutter to develop for iOS and Android? I personally don't, but my developers do. I started a Flutter project a few weeks ago, and then I ended up just giving it to a developer to work on because because I just didn't have the time to do it. I've so many tutorials, so many things, but I personally have not finished a Flutter project. Most of my developers have done it, and we just had a project which I quoted on, and I said I want this to be done in Flutter, and the clients came back and said they already have Ionic developers, so they want to take it back to Ionic, and I was like, fine, right? But it seemed like my developers don't want to do Flutter because, they don't know it yet, or they're not, it's harder for them to find a Flutter developer so far, and they want to do React Native or Ionic or native mostly, and the clients don't really care. They just want something that works and the best price they can get. So I've been pushing for Flutter on those projects, but like today I got pushed back a little bit. We have to give the quote in Ionic. So let's see. Chordfunk says, testing IAPs is easy, but it takes a lot of time. I've been thinking about building a site where you can log YouTube videos with timestamps that append note and that I could append notes to. Oh, that's a cool idea. Yeah, that's especially like if you're watching a tutorial or something. Let's see. UK Baz says, read Mum test book, refining good ideas. Let's see. I don't know. Mum test book. Is that because of the dad jokes? Cordfolk says it should be said that Shazam and Fake App are pretty technically heavy. Yeah, they are. I mean, it's not like a small thing. That require a lot of low level knowledge to execute. Yeah, I agree with that. It's not like something you can just knock up. But I think, yeah, it's not something you just knock up. Let's see. Pramad Kumar says, how many platform like Google Play Store, Amazon App Store, etc. do you publish your apps? And how about Huawei Market? So Pramad, I haven't done mostly lately. I just do Google Play and App Store. In the past, all of my stuff went onto Amazon, just as a matter of course. But Amazon, it was like I didn't get enough downloads from Amazon, and every time they would complain about something like the screenshot sizes or whatever, or they would always send emails saying, "We notice on Google Play you have 1.1.3, but on Amazon you only have 1.1.2." So it's like, give me a break. You're lucky I'm even on your store, which I don't get any downloads on. So that was the case. So I kind of just gave up on that. And Samsung I used to do a lot too, and that was like a terrible developer experience. It was just like it's like really slow. I think it was probably because it was based in Korea, right? And So I kind of gave up on that one too. And it was more like the the 80-20 rule. Like I could have it in as many places as possible, but then I just went back to like what's really making the money. And for me, it was Google Play and App Store. Now Huawei could be a contender, but I have not tried Huawei yet. I've just set up my developer account and did nothing with it. Um, let's see. KDQ says TV used to be better even if it was cheesy. Classic Moonlight. I agree. I don't see. I could know every single TV theme. That was my thing. It was like I didn't go out. I didn't have like well, I had friends, but all we did was watch TV. Like we would call each other and like on the telephone, the landline, and talk about the shows that we were watching. So what are you watching right now? Watching Airwolf. Oh, Stringfellow Hawk is awesome, right? Whatever. Jan Michael Vincent. I know all these themes, right? I was a couple months ago invited to a pub quiz, and if it was an 80s TV show, I had it. And if it was American. Like, there's a lot of 80s TV shows in the UK that I just don't know. UK Baz, remember Manimal? I remember Manimal and Automan. I was really young when that stuff came out. Like, I remember, like, that was like, I don't even think we had a VCR. That's talking about, like, we can't even record it. I have, like, no memory of it. There was, like, a show called Spies with George Hamilton, like, I think 86, 87. I can find no reference to that. It was on CBS. I think it was on for, like, maybe 3 or 4, 5 episodes. It was canceled early, but I thought that show was awesome. And I bet if I watched it now, I would hate it. For Christmas, I think it was Christmas last year, one of my kids got me the full box set of the A-Team, like every episode from all the seasons, all 5 seasons. I think it's 5 seasons. Right? I've watched 2 of them so far because it is so cringeworthy. Like, it's so hard to watch it. The same with Knight Rider. Knight Rider is a badass show, right? It's so cool until you watch it and think, oh, this is. But however, to me, like, yeah, I guess the cool thing now is like big lumberjack beards and neck tattoos and stuff. But for me, Don Johnson blazer. That's the and stubble. That's the way. That's always cool to me. I know we talked about TV earlier, but let's see. Prabhat says, "Hello, Eric. How many platforms like Google?" Okay, we already asked that one. Sidar says, "Do you use Flutter for iOS and Android apps?" Okay. Adam Major. Hey, Eric. Hey, all. Hey, Adam. How's it going? Alejandro. Hey, how's it going? Do you guys show up on the hour? You guys like an hour later? Did you guys drive in together? Yeah, acceptable. Okay, so Della Bodlam. Hey, Della Bodum. Hey, Della, how's it going? Says, hey, what do you think of Flutter? I'd like to learn it. Do you think it's a good idea? I do think it's a good idea. I know I answer the Flutter question a lot, but it doesn't. Yeah, and KDQ says it doesn't hurt to learn Flutter. I think learning any language is going to make it easier to learn other languages, except for Objective C, because that one is just. Every time I look at Objective C, I think, oh, do I have to do this? Like, let's see. Make English fun. It's a picture of paid and free apps within the app. I think it gets more from standalone paid ones than in the app stores. Core Functions Flutter is awesome, so cool, incredible, fast. I do like. That's what I like about Flutter is the fast refresh. You make a change and that hot reload thing is that's what I used to hate about native Android development was the slow compilation. It compiles down to the machine code and everything, and you can't do in Flutter can access through platform channels. Alejandro says, I use Flutter, and as for everything else, there are lights, there are shadows, but generally it's really good. I would go for it. My only exception would be if I had to utilize Instant App. Over time, Flutter will only grow, KDQ says. I agree with that. I think it's going to get bigger. Because it's been like twice in the last 2 weeks where I've had prospective clients ask me, so what are the benefits of using Flutter? And I'm like, 60 frames per second. It's Google runs it. Like I'm like, it's like having an interview question you've been asked multiple times. You're thinking, I need to have a set answer for this question because I'm winging it each time. Let's see. But it's still, yeah. And Billy says, it's the wave. Is that the thing people say? It's the wave. Yeah. The wave. It's still relatively new. Phil says, ciao, Eric. Ciao, Phil. Today I'm saying hello from India. Awesome. as opposed to Portland, Oregon? Is it different? Is it slightly different? I hope all is well. I'm passing out, so you've probably not even seen this. Alejandro says, "Hey Eric, would you mind having a look at my app? I just published it recently, but would be great if you could have a quick look and let me know if you have any comments." Sure, Alejandro. What is it called? IMIN in Sports Teams and Matches Management. So and I assume we're on Google Play, right? Let me share my screen. IMIN. So look at this. Cool. IMIN, Sports Teams and Matches Management. So, okay, I like the screenshots. Your sports profile as you've never seen before. Cool. You got that spiderweb graph. I was talking to a client about. They had something like that they wanted to do. Your teams. Wait. The Raspberry Berets, love it. The Predators, the Unbeatables, Red Riders. Okay. This is Raspberry Berets. Sticks with the whole 80s theme. Compare your performance with any other teammates. Cool. This looks really good. The only thing, so how's it doing? Let's have a look here. It's 11 megabytes, 10 plus install. Okay, so I think it looks really good. It's really polished. I don't know if I like the icon. This is my personal thing. It's IMIN. What does that stand for? IMIN. But I mean, I don't have a problem with the title. It's just I'm wondering if it's social sports. So if we're to do a Google search on teams management. Team management app. So we're not showing up there yet. However, when was it released? 13th of November. Oh, the last version was on the 13th of November. So a couple days ago. I think it looks really good. Like I'm just wondering whether or not it's almost like it looks really polished, and I think it's something that would be really useful to people. It's just I'm wondering if the icon would be putting people off, or if there's something else you could put there. Oh, and what kind of search terms we would be looking for on that? That would be the thing that I would be curious about on that one. Let's see. Okay. Somebody keeps putting in the chat "fu" and like over and over and over again, and YouTube is blocking it. Let's see. Sid Harsen says, "Do you use?" Oh, back to lower third. Do you use Flutter for iOS, Android? If not, we change in the future. Yes. UK Bass says sends out a message to Android users based on location. Go first. I'm not allowed to use the word penetrate followed by love boat. Nice. Frosty the Snowman with will flush all RAM. Frosty the Snowman, really? Okay, this is how bad it is. Somebody was saying, I overheard this conversation. Somebody said, we're like, the people I work with were like a bunch of misfits. And then the person they were talking to said, oh, you mean like the Island of Lost Toys on Frosty the Snowman? And I'm thinking, it's Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Like, yeah, I want to jump in there and tell them. It's like when somebody like quotes the wrong Batman movie, and you're like, you want to jump in there and tell them, but you're like, actually, it's not my place, and I want to pretend like I don't know that. I just want to pretend, just let it go, but it bothers you. Samira says, my Play Store account suspended. Then I created another one. It's also suspended. That means I can't create a Play Store account for the whole time. Is there any solution to create a new account? Samira, I've heard about this a lot. A lot of people are having that. I don't know how they're doing it based on IP address or the way how you're linked to them, but I'm not really sure the answer to that one. I would think. Have you tried some of the other app stores though? I mean, are you only doing Google Play? Are you getting your app on the other stuff too? Yeah, and Billy says it means you've been banned for life. Siddharth asked why were you suspended. Um, oh yeah, KDQ says is it based on the that's based on the original Dolomite. Yeah, I knew nothing about Dolomite. I know I'm going back to something we talked about like half an hour ago. I knew nothing about Dolomite except that except for that movie. Like, and then I went back and watched it, and I mean, I've seen all the like Shaft and that kind of stuff, but I haven't really seen anything like that. Fist 007 says have to go. Have a nice live stream, everybody. Have a nice weekend there, Fist 007. We still let's see, YouTube. Let's see, and Abdallah Ali keeps wanting to say "f you" for over and over again. Let's get past this. Billy says there's a ton of scams on Flippa where people sell apps making $999 per month for only 1,000. Yeah, it sounds like a scam to me. That was the guy who contacted me today. It sounded like a scam, right? It sounds like it's too good to be true, right? And just logically didn't make sense to me. So let's see. Abhay Puptani says I'm always last. We're still going. We're still going. We're going to do this live stream for 12 straight hours. Who's with me? Who's sticking around? Let's see. Mega Man 2016. Hey, Mega Man. Says, has anyone managed to get a release through on Apple since iOS Xcode 11.2.1? I did yesterday. Well, I got it released. I got it set, so it's pending developer release. But the client says he wants to change screenshots now, so which means I have to resubmit it again. But yeah, I did have to do the 11.2.1, and I had to download it manually because it wasn't available on the App Store, and it was just one of these things where it was annoying. As for my question about the price of the game, I don't want to sell it. I want to buy it. It's serious. Yeah, I think it sounds like it's too good to be true to me, Sam C. It just does. What Siri wants. Jose Matute says, how old are you? I'm 25, but life has been very hard. I'm 47. Let's see. Airwolf, do you remember? I remember Manimal. Magnum PI was. You know what? I like the new Magnum PI. I was never a big Magnum PI fan as a kid. But except when I I lived in Hawaii for like 3 years when I was in the Army. And then I kind of watched a bit of Magnum PI because you can see like Oahu, all driving around in the Ferrari. But yeah, it's I watch Magnum PI for the scenery. Although the new Magnum PI looks pretty cool. Although he has a lot of adventures in a lot of places for such a small island. Which is my opinion. I mean, if you live in Hawaii, I'm not saying the island is small, but you know all the places really well after a while, or at least the general areas. And it's kind of, I guess, yeah. Genio says, hey, Eric, how are you? I'm from India. Hey, I'm doing good, thanks. Aristio Sale says, hello from Brazil. Brazil. I want to go to Brazil one day. Hello from Brazil, Eric. Aristio says, today is a holiday here, and I finally get to watch your live stream at live. Best regards. Cool, I'm glad you made it. I said last week I was going to try to do a live stream earlier in the day, like another day of the week, and I still want to try to get that done. But this week has just been crazy busy. Crazy busy, yo. I've started using that term lately. I don't know where I picked it up. Yao Johnny says, hey, Eric. Hey, Yao Johnny, how's it going? What do you do when my app download decreased gradually? I try to look at it and see why it is. Is there a competitor? Look at the keyword rankings on App Annie, see if it's dropped a little bit. Because there's a reason it's dropping, and you got to figure out what it is. It's probably something to do with the ranking, I'd imagine. Let's see. UK Baz says, the book is called Mum Test. It's about getting feedback and refining ideas. Oh, really? I didn't write it. It's just a very popular book for makers. Mum Test? So I would say like mum like mother. Let's see. Andrew. Sorry, I apologize if I'm way back behind here. Let's see. Alejandro Lopez Param says, I'm in. Yep. What? Yao Johnny says, it took a month to drop from 4,000 to 1,000 daily downloads. Still sounds pretty good. I mean, is it still ranking the way that it did? If it's ranking the way that it did, maybe it's something, maybe people are just, for whatever reason, they're not downloading as many apps in November. But if it's somebody like taking over your spot, then I think then you have to do something, right? Um, so if it's a global thing where people just been downloading less, um, let's see. Uh, let's see. Genio says, Eric, can you make a content-based recipe app in Android Studio? Can I, or is it possible? I think, yeah, it should be possible. Content-based recipe app. Yeah, I mean, you would have the ideal thing, I think, Genio, you'd want to do is have a web API where you have, so that you can, like, have a SQLite database within the database, or sorry, SQLite database within the app, so that you have that baseline, and have like so what I always do is I do like a last updated date. So we'll have a database, and if anybody makes an update or a insert or a deletion, then it marks it, well, not so much deletion, it would mark it as inactive, and it would mark it with the date stamp, the last modified date. And then that way when your app opens up, it checks the server to see if anything's been changed since the last time it's updated. And then before you go live, you run that application, get that SQLite database, and store it within your app, and move it from resources into documents directory, and then just work off the documents directory. So that way you're always updating that date, and it's always doing that. And then that way you don't have to keep re-releasing the app every time you do a recipe. That would be the best way to do it. However, if you don't want to set up a whole server, which I totally get, then I would have a SQLite database in the SQLite database in the app. And the reason I say SQLite as opposed to like JSON or something like that is it's just easier to search. But you guys could disagree with me. I'm like old school. I'm old school SQL. Dungeon Ward RPG says, Eric, what do you think about donations only without ads or other in-apps? I saw an Android game and was very successful with it. Is it true? I mean, I've never saw that. I think it depends on. I guess it depends on like if you saw something like that, would you donate? And I think that's one of the things I think if I wouldn't mind donating if I really like the app, but I would want to get something back for it. I think, but I'm just I'm shallow. I think I'm shallow and superficial. Let's see. UK Bass says Google Beacon is a product for Google. It's a product for Google business users, which can send messages and gather data from Android users based on physical location. Google it. All right. See. Oh, okay. So let's have a look. I'm gonna have a look at I'm gonna Google it right now, live, so you guys can see my browser history. So Google Beacons. Is this new? I should. Okay, so is this proximity based for your users? So yeah, this is. So there used to be Bluetooth beacons. I mean, there still are Bluetooth beacons where you would set up at different places, and then when you walk into that vicinity, like in a museum, it would trigger it. So you can have an app that responds to beacons based on proximity. Is that what this is, or is this based on GPS coordinates? Oh, yeah, it's Bluetooth Low Energy. So yeah, this is I don't know why it's called Google Beacons, but yeah, so you can install beacons for Android and iOS. Cool. But yeah, this is something where you plant a physical device, right? So like you plant a beacon here, there, and there, and then you could respond to it. I've had somebody ask me whether or not they could send push notifications based on location, and I thought, I don't know. I've never actually. That's one of those things where I've never actually seen it. But it seems like something I've heard of. Like I need to Google it. I need to search on that. But if anybody has an idea, then let me know. So KDQ says Dolomite's a great movie. It's on Amazon Prime. I think I might watch it. But yeah, I did like the Eddie Murphy one. Matthew Creek says Com Potionware Audio News. Cool, good idea. Just putting the package name in there because YouTube did not block that. Let's do this. I'll have a look at this here too. Let's see, hour and a half, nothing. Child's Play, hour and a half live stream. Let's see. Share my screen again. All these technical problems today. And apologies for the audio news. Oh, it didn't actually go. Let's go into random one and then just change the URL. Oh, oh, is this the one that's been removed? Matthew, I can't seem to find it. Um, let's see. Rodrigo says, "What are the current approval times nowadays? 2 to 3 days for first approval, and a few hours after for updates." On iOS, it seems to have gotten like it's like really quick. It's like a day. Like I've had them done like the next morning approved, like a new app. Or for an update, it was really quick, but like for a new app, really quick too. And Google Play just takes forever now. There's because I think they're checking things a lot more than they were. KDQ says I like Magnum Goofy. I think I think I was talking to somebody about growing a mustache earlier today, and I thought, and just like a nice big Magnum mustache. Um, of course, fucking check out Silicon Valley yet? Yeah, I have. I think the last time you asked me that, I hadn't seen it, but I've seen clips of it. I have binge watched Silicon Valley. I've seen all the way up to the latest season on Now TV. So like actually subscribe to Now TV so I can watch all of Silicon Valley. I thought it was very funny. I thought it was really good. Uh, let's see. Language is a virus. Oh yeah, me picking up these terms. Simon Summertimes, you know what has aged really well? The TV show The Golden Girls and the live stream The Overpass Live. Overpass Live has aged well. I remember back in the old days when I wore bell bottoms and did the Overpass Live. Let's see. Uh, yeah, The Golden Girls. Yeah, one day. Yeah, say 10 years. Well, like 30 years from now, when I'm 77, we'll be doing the Overpass Live. Steve Green, hey, how's it going, Steve? I made it today. I'm glad you can make it. And John's here. John, you sent me a link last week or 2 weeks ago, and I was going to do a video about that too. He said, great videos this week. Glad to see more videos. Have a great weekend. You too. Sound isn't great today either. Don't judge your Apple operating system again. Yeah, Joe, I'm so sick. I am so sick of technical issues this week. I've had so many technical issues, including the microphone stopped working, screen share stopped working, everything stopped working this week. So, yeah, Johnny says, thanks for the information. No problem. Pork Pie Software. Glad you can make it. The one they call Eric, the maker of it. The one they call Eric, the maker of apps. Good morning from New Zealand. Cool. Now the clocks have changed. I can watch you live again. It's 7:33 on a Saturday morning here. God, Saturday morning. God, you've already been through the whole night. My night's just starting. How is it, by the way? How is tonight? Is it good? Let's see. Dungeon Ward RPG says the donations were done similar to Kickstarter rewards, and there was also a note from the solo dev who did it. I think that really helped for success. It got 300,000 downloads in a couple of months. Yeah, I think it's yeah, I think if the if you really like the developer, I guess and he really made a case. Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, I almost think he would be really good at copywriting and stuff like that. Yeah. And KDQ says I have taste for it though. I think she's talking about Magnum still or Dolomite. Court Funk says, "Yo, Eric, this is a bit of a nerdy topic, and that's what we're here for. We're here for nerdy topics, and for the most part, completely unnecessary. But have you ever created your own file format to utilize space better when you are in a tight storage constraints? Have I ever done my own file format? No, I haven't. Would that help the with storage? So do you mean like rather than call something like a PDF extension? No, because it would be the same size, wouldn't it? If I change a PDF to something else. No, I haven't. But that sounds cool. I have done just for fun to do a script that just looks through every file in your directory, because then you have to practice recursive functions, and so you go down all the different folders and you're looking for something like something search would do naturally, but just to do it for fun, like through Node.js, or I think I did it through VBScript back in the day. Yao Johnny says, one last thing. When I debug my app with the emulator running on API 29, after a period of time, the frame is always freeze, but the logcat is still updating. Have you encountered this issue? I haven't done that. I don't use the emulator very much for Android because it took up so much space on my computer. I think that was one of the things that had to go. And I still use Genymotion, but Genymotion stopped working too. Genymotion is based on Sorry, am I still showing my screen here? Genymotion is based on VirtualBox, and it was something that worked really well. But I think they had a bit of success. They started overcharging for it, like every app tool does. They're like, okay, we should start charging for this now. We think it should be $200 a month or something like that. Free to $200. There's that kind of stuff. Unless you use it for personal license, and then you can use it for free. And you're like, yeah, it's personal. Let's see. Matthew Creek says it won't show. Yeah, it's really it's not. Are you sure it's the right one there, Matthew? The Potionware Audio News. Let's see. I'm just gonna try this. I'm gonna share my screen here in a second if I can find it. If Google Play still shows it there, what I would do is I would contact Google on that. Yeah, I would contact Google on that because they're the only ones who would know. If the Google Play console says it's there, unless, is it possible that you don't have any countries? Is it possible that you've gone through and you don't have any available countries? Would it let you save it without any available countries? Gordfolk says, yo, Eric, one more question. What are the Mint SDK version you currently use for your Android apps? I used to have 16, but I'm thinking about bumping up to 21. So I would think that they have an Android 5.0. I used to have like 11. I used to have a build at 11 to 16, and then from 16 and over because I like the Facebook SDK required at 16, I think. And then I just stopped updating the older version. Let's see. UK Bass says data getting. Genio says buying Android app source code from Code Canyon website is good or bad. Genio, I think it's good. I mean, I've done it only once, but I always look over at Code Canyon and Chupa Mobile. Like if we have a client come to us and say they want to have something that's a lot like something else, like Uber, for example, like we get that from time to time. I'll like give a quote like what I think it would cost to create from scratch, but then I'm like, if we were to find like a template, because if they're just looking for something that, if they want something that's revolutionary, then yeah, we want to go to like Code Canyon. But if they wanted something like that, but I would tell them, I would say, and I've done that. I've said, look, there's this project on Code Canyon. I don't know if it does what you need it to do, but it looks like it does like 80% of what you need to do. If it's something you wanted to do where we could just like customize the rest of it and add some modules to it, then maybe we could. In fact, maybe you should even contact that developer and say if he'll do that for you. But like in terms of creating your own app, I think it's like reskinning. Like you're competing with other apps on the Play Store and the App Store that are very, very similar, unless you change it drastically. But I think it depends. Like if it could give you a head start, yeah, go ahead and do it. But then you also have the overhead of having to learn what the other developer did. Let's see. It's 7:30 p.m. in Norway, according to Cordfunk. You could strip the unnecessary bytes. Oh, from the file format. Like save 8 bytes if you strip the head of a PDF file. No, I haven't. I've used like. Have you guys ever used PNG Quant to like minimize the size of your files? I've done that, which supposedly strips a lot of the junk away from them. But to try to get your stuff done. Let's see. 11, you're hardcore. Okay, UK Baz is off. See you later. Rodrigo says 16 WTF. Please move to 19 or more. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The Mint SDK. Yeah, I haven't upgraded that. Like if you look at the because they're always releasing the stats of which versions people are using on Android, and like nobody's using those lower versions anymore. Like hardly anybody. It's not even worth doing. Let's see. Rizwan Atta says, hi, an old fan from Pakistan. Joined when you said Ionic was going to get declined. Yeah, I'm it's funny, was I'm on a call today having a client tell me they want to go Ionic on this app. And I'm like, one of my most popular videos was me talking about how we don't use Ionic anymore. And then I softened on it. Ionic came to me and said, it's really not fair what you're saying about Ionic because none of it's true. But I was like, yeah, but it's still kind of one of the scary things. But if a client says that's what they want to use, then that's just what we use. But yeah, my preference is not to worry about it so much. My preference is to use something else besides Ionic at the moment, and but I know like there's a lot of Ionic fans out there, and Ionic 1, that's where it's at. So, um, and Rodrigo says we should support Android 4.4 KitKat or more. Yeah, probably. If I was doing something, I mean, it's because the app was so old. It's Chord Funk says I'm going to start to support SDK version 1. The app will display text field and say hello. That'd be cool. You wouldn't strip the header of a file, but you could save a lot of space by only writing the bytes you need. Yeah, you are way more hardcore than I am, Chord Funk. Yeah, it's let's see. Let's see. Dungeon War RPG says, Did you have any app that took off long after the release? Yes. Korean Bubble Bath had like this huge spike at like a year afterwards. Like I don't know what it was. I don't know if it got like just because you're talking about you might get a few like really good reviews. You might get people into it. You might get somebody recommending it to a friend, and then all of a sudden it starts to pick up a bit of momentum, and then it takes off. And so that's one of the reasons why I don't really remove a lot of my older apps, because I still have faith, baby. Yeah, Johnny says I got pretty much download from 4.4. Yeah, 4.4, that's 16. Right, that. So yeah, 16 sounds like a good one. I just, part of me thinks the more we can appeal to, the better, but there's like hardly anything. I mean, somebody who's running Android less than 4.4 is probably a kid who has a phone that their parents used to have. Like, so they don't have the money to spend on anything. So let's see. Steve Green says, "You ever use Unity? I'm trying to make my first game, and I need to take a look into pixel art." I personally don't, but I have developers that are using it. And yeah, I'm not a fan of the GUI on Unity, and I know a lot of people are. But Rodriguez is talking about Ionic. I hate the new version because they moved from Shadow DOM, and it's hard to change the styles, if not impossible. And Johnny says 4.4 is 19. Rizwan Ada says, I was asked to choose PWA or RN Stack with React.js. I went with your advice and chose React Stack. Thank you for saving my life from Angular in-app. I think Ionic would have been good for PWA, but Raven79 says, you skipped my question. Thanks anyway. Did I? Cordfunk says he's not an app. So I'm back for the end, it seems, says Fist007. Raven. Okay, Raven's question, if I could find it, is the last one. I didn't. Oh, here we go. Sorry about that, Raven. How did I miss that? Oh, I missed a few things here. Raven says, I got contacted by a big TV network to feature my Play Store in one of their episodes. Cool. The result will be at least 500,000 impressions. Will the sudden surge in traffic get my AdMob account in trouble? I wouldn't think so. I mean, you're not breaking any rules. I mean, they'll be able to tell whether it's genuine or not. No, that would be a good thing. It's not that that one we talked about, like that TV show I did a video about a few weeks ago, where they contact you and you have to pay to be on it, is it? Let's see. And then finally, okay, last question is Genio's question. How can I learn Java program? I'm not good at mathematics. It's possible, dude. I'm not good at mathematics. Right? It's but you can learn Java. Java's not that hard to learn. You start off with Hello World, then you go to databases, and you learn the basics of programming, and your code's gonna suck to begin with, right? Because all of us have been through that. Some of us probably still are. Maybe I still am. I don't know. But it's you'll get to that point. The key thing is just get started. Anyway, so let's see. It's pizza time. God, yeah, it is pizza time. It's so pizza time. I'm so hungry. Yep. Let's see. Oh, we'll go back. And Cordfunk says, if you want to do machine learning, graphics, and DSP, you have to have a bit more math there. Yeah. If you can do machine learning, that was one of the. I think I'm a really, I'm going through life, through my career, through 20 years as a developer, thinking, I'm a pretty good developer, right? And then you get to machine learning, thinking, oh, this is why you needed to know math. It's like really hard. Let's see. And Steve says, "Are you not doing app reviews?" We did a few tonight. And Patrick H says, "Have you checked on the new 16-inch MacBook Pro? It got released yesterday." I have not. My MacBook Pro is like a 20. It says early 2013, but I know I bought it in 2012, and it's really starting to show its age. And I keep looking at those new MacBooks, thinking I need to get one of those, but you know, it's like, yeah, I start looking at the financing on it, thinking maybe I'll get this one through financing, but I need to make a bit more revenue, and then I'll get one. But cool. Everybody, thanks so much for joining us for the live stream. Sorry about the audio problems. Sorry about the flickering lights again. Sorry about the chicken butt thing, right? It was juvenile, and I apologize. But it was nice to talk about 80s TV shows today. That was fun. Anyway, I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. Maybe I'll get a video done for tomorrow, but I'm not sure. I'm going to try. And I hope you guys have a great week. And I'll talk to you again next week on the live stream and later this week in the Overpass Insights. Have a good weekend. Bye. And bye.